Before you even start, I'll want our guest to introduce what she does, and also our cocoon, Pale Patrice, introduce. So, yeah, welcome, introduce yourself.
Thank you so much. My name is Faith Melody Ouma. I am a third year student at University of Eldoret. I take civil and structural engineering, and I'm so happy to be here today.
Nice. I also take electrical engineering.
Civil and structural. Wacha mafundi wa stima.
Introduce yourself.
Mafundi wa stima. Okay. Anyway, my name is Patrice Kingwari. I'm a student. Nafanya economics, mathematics. I'm also an accountant by profession and an entrepreneur.
That's nice. Yeah, so Patrice, I think tutaanza na wewe, like, how do you, like, explain to us, how do you grow from suffering? First of all,
before tufike kwa how do you grow from suffering?
Yeah.
Suffering ni nini?
Yeah.
Okay. Suffering in common language ni kuteseka. Okay, si kila mtu anateseka in different ways. Kuna emotional suffering, kuna physical suffering, kuna social suffering. Kuna mtu anateseka juu hana marafiki, kuna mtu anateseka juu hana pesa, kuna mtu anateseka juu ameachwa ama ameachana, like kuna different types of suffering. But suffering mimi naweza sema ni ile phase something is not right in your life. Like you're going through a phase where something is not working as you thought, and uko in ile position ya regret ama feeling bad about it.
Yeah.
Even though mimi naweza explain suffering, I think that's the best term naweza come up nayo.
Okay, I'll acknowledge there are several types of suffering, and the one most of us go through is the mental one, right? So it is a challenge for most youths to actually know that they're suffering and to acknowledge that they're suffering, for them to get help or seek help or just find ways in themselves to get over it.
Yeah.
What I think about suffering is that it takes a toll on most of us. It takes a toll on us mentally, even though it's so hard for us to show it. It really takes a toll on us, and I think today we are going to really exploit and find out how can we grow out of it and come out of it alive. Yes.
That's nice. So for me, in my own understanding, I like that incident we share our emotions, which people don't support right now. Share your emotions at some point. It was same nini macheki. It's not supported in the society, and I think when you suffer, you need to talk about it. Macheki. And vile Mungu alitudesign, we are designed not to walk alone on earth. Macheki. Lazima tukue with that outlet yenye tukisuffer, we pour ourselves into them. Sindio?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, me I'd say right now we are concentrating on the mental suffering. Suffering affect more, it's less of physical and more of mental. I mean in that you might laugh, you might be social, like your life might be normal, but you're still suffering mentally. So I'd say ndio tufike ile point you can say you've grown from suffering. You need to accept your suffering. You need to accept something is not adding in your life.
Yeah.
Something is not making sense in your life. You need to know what that something that inakufanya ukue stressed, ukue mentally, usuffer mentally. You need to figure it out. Ndio uanze ku work through it. Ndio tufike ile point tunasema you've grown from
a quick
suffering.
question before umalize. Like, what's this principle of growth through suffering?
Principle of growth through suffering. I think, okay, mimi naweza sema iko na stages. One, you need to know you're suffering first. Once you know you're suffering, you need to accept your suffering. Then you need to find what is making you suffer. Then you need to accept the situation itself. Like, kubali, hii ndio shida inanisumbua. Then you start working through it. Whether it's through groups of people ama personally ama therapy, like find your way to work through the process. Then if you get a point where you can actually look back and say I moved from that to this, like ile point utasema nilikuwa sikuwa naweza kutoka kwa nyumba, right now naweza toka at least twice a day. The smallest amount of growth is the growth you need. Si lazima come out of it 100%. If you are at 0%, you are at 10%, you may grow through suffering. If you are at 10%, to 20%, I'm at 15%, at 12%, the minimum percentage is acceptable.
Yeah, so for me, before guest aonge, I think suffering it breaks a man so that his or her life equally manifested.
Yeah.
So that's what I get from suffering. Like lazima tu iku break down,
ndio iku make.
So
what he has said is so true. The first thing is you need to acknowledge it. You're going through something and it's affecting you so bad. But sometimes, our minds tend to get defensive, like your mind can notice you're suffering from maybe a heartbreak and the first thing it does, you start staying in the house way too much. You're just Netflix and chill alone, or you're just scrolling through TikTok so much more than usual, au piki kwa nyumba, such things. It's your mind trying to not think about it. So if you notice that, you notice that you're being defensive against your thoughts, you have to acknowledge there's something wrong and sit down and ask yourself, what is it? Why is my mind trying to what is my mind not wanting to think about? Think about it, and after you have accepted that there's something wrong in one aspect of your life, what do you want to do about it? Personally, do you want to go out and talk? Do you want to go out with, just listen to music and take a walk? Do you want to call your friend or your mom? There is that. So what do you want to do about it? And the last step is that if it's too much, if you can't handle it, if it has taken a toll on you for way too long, ask for help. That is just it.
Yeah.
Go for therapy, consult with people who are mature and more emotionally stable than you are.
Wow.
So that's what I think.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Expert. Tuko na expert leo.
I'm amazed.
So tuko na expert.
Another question I can pose to you guys, why is suffering this important to growth?
Okay, I think I'd start nikisema, if you've not suffered, you've not lived.
Yeah.
Nobody's life is perfect. In life you must, there's something that, like, okay, in my perspective, I think in life you must suffer for you to understand parts of it.
Yeah.
You must suffer through something the way how life works, because life is not perfect. If you've not really suffered in life, then something is not adding up in your life, because I don't think kuna mtu life yake iko 100% perfect.
Yeah.
There's the 1%, 2%, 10%, kuna mwingine hata the 90% part is not working. I think in my perspective, I'd say in life there's something that must make you suffer, whether it's financial, whether it's emotional, whether it's relationship wise, friendship wise. Like, kuna a lot of things that make people suffer. Most people in this generation ni financial and relationships, like hizo ndo zinasumbua watu. But what people don't understand is friends can also make you suffer. There are very small parts of your life that utapata pia wewe una dismiss that can actually make you suffer more than what you think is making you suffer. So I'd say suffering is part of life.
Yeah. So I think suffering can trigger personal growth.
It depends.
How? It triggers personal growth and transformation.
It will trigger personal growth and transformation if you work through it.
Yeah,
if you let
hardships,
if you let the suffering take over your life, then you will diminish your life more.
Unajua suffering ina bring those deeper levels of humility, compassion.
Unajua sasa ndio nakwambia ina depend whether utasolve the issue ama utaacha take over.
Yeah.
Ukiacha take over, you'll end up depressed. Life yako itakuwa a shell of a life.
So
itakuwa more of
I think our guest had to explain like how is suffering important to grow.
Life is hard for everyone. It has to break you, it has to mold you, it has to show you that you need to get out of your comfort zone. So sometimes, even if it's financially, you have to, if you're not okay financially and it takes a toll on you and you start to suffer, you have to ask yourself, how can I get out of this situation? How can I earn money? How can I budget for it wisely? If it's in a relationship and you're from it, you have to ask yourself, how can I be better from this? How can I come out of this without hating people, without carrying a lot of grudges? Such things. So every situation that comes and it makes you suffer, it always has a positive side of it, whatever it is. And we know great people, very many people who had to go through that tough life for them to come out, great and wonderful. So whatever you're going through, whichever type of suffering, it has a positive overlook over it. So that is what you need to work on and make sure you come out an achiever. Yes.
I think I may summarize most of what I was trying to say, because hey, wow. The Kizungu is not Kizungu. No, the Kizungu is not Kizungu. As I was saying, suffering is part of life. Suffering is a stage. You don't choose when it happens. Suffering happens in life, not to life. Manielewa? Like it's a part kwa life yako, suffering is somewhere there. Whether it's now, whether it's 20 years later, whether it's when you're old, suffering happens. So immediately you learn to know that suffering happens. You will learn to find ways in which utaji mold from the suffering itself. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we have acknowledged that we are now suffering. So how do we now move from suffering upwards?
I think before hata tufike kwa how do you move, me I'd ask, what are the causes of suffering? Yeah, like nini inafanya sisi kama generation tuna suffer? Because this generation, nimekuwa nikiresearch on mental health sometime. This generation iko na the most high levels of mental health illness. Like hii generation utapata msee anacheka nini, but deep down watu wako na mashida kwa akili. Like
happy pictures
but mental health is just poor, weak. So I'd ask, nini inafanya mental health yetu kama generation iko chini?
So let me start alafu our guest. So the thing that I think mostly affects us ni the decisions we make day by day. Nacheki. So if I make a bad decision, it will haunt me the next day. Unaona? So for me, hii generation, kwanza hii generation Z, like the decisions we make, they don't like uplift us that much. Naweza sema I can make a decision itani for 3 weeks ama a couple of months.
Alafu ni make ingine tena.
Yeah, unacheki. So we don't have those life decisions hizo. So I think if we have those, like I should be in a particular place at the right time. I should be like dating right. I should be like choosing new like amazing friends that support me. Unaona mtu kama hizo. Those people who are in your circle. Ukiwachagua in a very particular good way and have good decisions, utateseka yes, but
itakuwa less.
Yeah. Ushaona there was a thing I usually tell my friends that kuna zile shida you can avoid. Unaona? Like friend yako akwambia I mean this problem nini, but if you had made a good decision haungekuwa hapo. Unaona? Yeah, so I think the major thing we are facing is decisions.
Can I add something? Another challenge ambayo inatusaidia na kuwa na hiyo challenges ni what we eat. These days we don't eat balanced diet, unakula tu junk. The kind of energy that you get, unaona, ina affect hadi self-esteem yako. Unajua that's one thing if you compare the watu wa kitambo. Wao walikuwa wanakula vizuri. Sisi we eat junk, unakunywa pombe mingi. Tuongeza mafuta.
Yeah. So vile Limo amesema like the foods we eat,
the diet.
Don't hydrate.
Yeah, hydration pia unacheki.
Mimi naweza sema pia nini social media. Social media imepea watu pressure yenye si yao. Right now mtu amekaa chini mahali ako YouTube anaona wase wako na hadi podcast, wase wako na do, like they don't know your life.
Yeah.
They know what they see.
Yeah.
Right now mtu akiangalia saizi tuko podcast, yeye anaona tuko fiti.
Yeah.
Yeye anaona wase wako na pesa ya kuhost, wako na pesa ya ku arrange podcasts and everything,
but they don't know.
Ukiangalia mwingine anaona mse ameenda majuu, mse ameenda trip wapi nini, you think their life is perfect, so you want that kind of life, so you unajistress sana to the point you at a mental breakdown juu mambo iendi venye unataka. You want by next week pia uende sijui Mombasa wiki nzima, upostie watu venye you and your bae sijui nini. Then pia unapata hii generation, okay, I'd say for men tunakuwa pressured na vitu zenye si lazima zitu pressure. Unapata dem fulani, a group of girls, mmoja wao ampelekwa out na boyfriend yake, wameenda wapi sijui nini. Dem yako pale anakuja inbox anakuambia sijui nataka next week nipeleke majuu, sijui nini. Wewe kama boy child pale unapata stress, ukitafuta pesa sijui nini, but what you're forgetting is this guy has his life. This guy ako na source of income yake.
Yeah.
Mse anajua kwenye anatoa do. Maybe mse ako na trust fund. Huu ni trust fund baby. Trust fund baby, mzazi wake alifanya kazi akakota bilioni zake. Sasa huyu mtu huyu anakula tu hizo bilioni pole pole. Yeye ana stress. Mzazi wake amemfungulia kampuni fulani, kazi yake ni kukaa chini kukula pesa.
Yeah.
Then there is you, unapiga hustle yako, unakanyanga hadi tao, unarudi na thao yako, panchi yako. Kesho tena unakanyanga hadi tao ndo usevio chwani, ndo urudi ikiwa thao na chwani juu.
Yeah.
Unasahau, most people like you forget where you are. You're trying to focus too much on where you want to be in someone's life rather than where you want to be in your own life.
Yeah.
One more thing is that we have great expectations of ourselves, which is good in a motivate, but at the same time in a weigh down seeing others. You know, someone is 24 and already has a big company and has this great app.
Yeah.
It is giving you a lot of pressure, you know,
Yeah.
to just, it is motivation, yes, like in a stress in a way. So what I tell people is give yourself some grace, cut yourself some slack, you know. Utafika hapo, whether it's at 25, whether it's at 30, you will get there. So the same expectations come from our parents pia. Anataka you get out of campus, get a job, start feeding them, start paying your brother's fees, of which Simba, it's not a bad thing to do, like don't let it weigh on you too much, because the more it weighs on you, the more you suffer mentally. Yeah.
So I think Jesus Christ gave suffering a supernatural value when he died for our sins.
Okay. Me in my perspective, okay, ebu explain before nikupinge jumi kwangu naona umemisquote your Bible vibaya sana.
I cannot explain.
Your Bible is updated.
Yeah,
I think Bible yako uko sure unasoma Bible ama ni ya simu?
Just
Unaweza kuwa
umeenda.
Okay, me in my understanding of the Bible, I think the aim of Jesus kukuja was to die for our sins. He suffered for our sake. He suffered to remove the initial sin ya akina Adam and Eve, na to create the direct path to God. Like naweza kaa chini niambie Mungu wangu nilifanya hivi na hivi na hivi and it is wrong and this and that and that.
Correct.
Bila kupitia mtu.
That's correct.
So ukisema alipea suffering a supernatural power, I think you're misquoting the Bible.
No.
The suffering was for him to show his love for us. It was not the supernatural thing. The suffering was a way of showing he loved us so much that he agreed to suffer for things that are not his.
Thank you. That he can overcome the
to show us that so we can also overcome the suffering.
That's supernatural.
It's not supernatural.
That's supernatural.
Unajua supernatural ni nini?
Supernatural is stretch.
Supernatural una stretch. He was unatumia word kubwa. He just yeye alikuwa anatuonyesha that he loves us so much that he can die for our sins, and he was also trying to show us that you as a person can go
endure.
through suffering
Yes,
and
not
come
being
out of it a better person, na hata unaweza access the kingdom of heaven.
Suffering ilianza pali Adam na Eve, wakati Eve alikula hiyo matunda. Ndiye akasema, a man you must toil to eat. And
Exactly.
a woman you shall go through
Pain to
when
give.
you are bearing a child.
Exactly.
So hapo suffering ilianza.
And the
And it
aim of
is-
Jesus was to show us that
You can go
you can
through
go
it.
through suffering and come out of it. And also a way of showing us anatupenda, alikufia sinsi zake manze.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sawa, endelee.
So I'd say suffering in this life ni nini? Once umefigure out venye tumesema causes of suffering, I'm sure kuna more causes of suffering zenye sisi wenyewe hata hatuja go through. Tukianza causes of suffering, we'll go through a whole new
Ni
topic.
mingi sana. Acha nikupe example moja. Kama ile ya serikali nasema unazaliwa na deni.
Oh, wallahi.
Forget that one.
Honestly hata sasa najua mtoto wangu ako na deni na hata sijapata mtoto, but it's part of life. So I think right now we should start tuanze kufikiria on how can we help someone ama help ourselves go through suffering and come out of it a better person. That's the main part, come out of it a better person.
So kitu naweza sema to like kickstart the nini, take so much time to do like things like self care. No.
Ujipeleke out.
Not necessarily out. Not si lazima out, like self care, like tulikuwa tunasema in the other
School
episode.
unamaanisha kuvuta bangi.
Hapana. Like
Tunaweza kuwa naongelea
in the
pombe.
other episode nilikuwa tunasema the choices. No. You need things like self care.
Okay,
And
unajua
dating,
ukisema self care,
what you eat.
self care is a very wide.
Yeah.
I think for one, I go out, play something. Go play a game. Go out with your boys and play FIFA. Just
Cheza chini basi. Sera play, cheza chini kucheza.
if you're a girl, go out, do things that that just make you feel nice about your feminism and all that. I think that is what you mean.
Yeah.
And also, get out of your comfort zone. If you're an introvert, get
Yeah.
out, talk to people, go out, go to trips, do all these things. And if you're an extrovert, try wherever you are, hata kama you like talking to people, jaribu tu tulie, meditate and analyze what you're going through and how to go through it without having, si lazima ucheke and you're not okay, now you can't tell people.
Yeah.
Just meditate and go to that one person who you're comfortable with so that akusaidie.
Yeah.
If that is what you prefer, yes.
Another thing.
Before I'd say, I always tell these people, okay, this applies both in terms wakati uko na hasira. Me, I tell people, ukiwa na hasira, find your outlet. In this scenario, I'll also use the same thing. Find your outlet. If you know you're mentally suffering, find your outlet. Find that one thing that calms you. That one thing that puts things into perspective. Kama wewe ni msee wa FIFA, manze enda FIFA, cheza. Kama wewe ni msee wa kwenda kutulia, piga walk. Kama ni ngoma, kaa chini, sikiliza ngoma, playlist yako. Put your mind at a position where it's calm. Ndo sasa uanze ku think clearly, because you will never think clearly if your mind is not calm.
Yeah.
You need a calm mind, a relaxed mind,
Yeah.
for you to start thinking on the process,
Yeah.
what is bothering you ata. To figure that out, it's a whole new process.
Yeah.
You need your mind as calm as it can be. So me, I'd say find your outlet.
Yeah.
After that one thing, ama those two things that calm you. If it's a person, mtafuta.
So also another effect ni like take time for self-reflection.
Yeah.
Unajua it's very important kujua the source of your pain. So ukijua the source of your pain, hapo sasa unaanza ku acknowledge the fact that I'm undergoing this is how I can heal and blah blah blah.
I think the main part hata tungeanzia nayo, of which we forgot, God. Pray. Manze pray. Prayer can get you through a lot that a normal human being cannot. Prayer can help you go through and come out of a lot of things that mimi siwezi kusaidia. Only God can help. So me I'd say, first of all, kaa chini, shika Biblia yako, shika maombi yako, just pray to your God. Wewe na Mungu wako mko na understanding yenu. only you know how you and your God understand each other. God ni ule ule, but every person has a different understanding na Mungu wake. Kuna mwingine akiimba, that's how he prays. Kuna mwingine anaomba, kuna mwingine. Just take your time, talk to your God, have a conversation with him, tell him to help you figure out what is bothering you, and for him to show you how to go through it. Because as much as tunasema find your outlet, find yourself, self-care and all that, only God can help you through that. Bila God, yote tu itakuwa useless.
And family is very, very important. Sometimes we dismiss them and they're like, who wants to stay near the parents when they're always like, do this, do that. But sometimes when you have siblings and you are with them and you appreciate the time how you have with them, it can come as a calming effect in your life. And to also appreciate people of your own blood, of your own blood, people of your family. That being appreciative of people around you will make you be appreciative of yourself more, love yourself even more, and with God also, everything is possible. Yeah.
So,
okay, before I'd say also, each generation, most people need therapy but don't want to face it. Going through therapy, accepting you need therapy is the hardest thing you can do as a person in this generation. Like ukikaa chini useme, man, I need therapy, like I need to talk to someone. Sometimes talking to your friend will work, but sometimes you need to talk to a different just a stranger. Talking to a stranger does not mean you can't talk to someone. I tell people, wakati you are afraid to talk to your friend because you think they'll judge you or something, go talk to that stranger mwenye hakujui. Mwenye ukitoka hapo, high 90% chances atakusahau ama atasahau shida zako until the next time you meet. Then ako like, when ni nani, Patrice, oh, the guy with this, that. I think that's why they write short notes, because wao husahau pia. So I'd say, if you ukifika ile point you need therapy, don't be afraid to ask for it. It's the hardest thing and it's the bravest thing you can do. Just ask for help. Yeah.
Alafu unajua COVID-19 ili change sana. Unajua? So ili change our perspectives in life.
No. I think COVID-19 ili bring more introverts than extroverts. You know the word I'd use.
Introverts were happy.
No, nikisema bring more introverts, I mean ule mse hakuwa unajua kuna wale wase hawakwangi, kuna the word but hayuko ako extroverted and introverted. Ambivert, exactly. So utapata the ambivert person wakati wa COVID-19 alikuwa sasa introvert deep. COVID-19 ili bring ile position where ilibidi umejiseclude because of the whole coronavirus and stuff. So being secluded na kuzoea could deal with your stuff alone, ili bring the whole situation where you don't feel like you have to share because you can do this alone. Ama you kind of used to do things alone. Sijui kama mmenielewa. So I think the whole COVID-19 thing ili bring ile position where people became, the ambiverts became introverts and the extroverts became ambiverts. So it'll reduce the number of extroverts.
I also think pia it'll make it'll put in another position where inatuonyesha like nothing is permanent.
Yeah.
And I can put it in a way that also pain is not permanent.
Yeah. I think COVID-19 on a personal basis ilinionyesha life is short. Like life ilikuwa inapia so short hiyo time ya COVID-19 that right now you need to treasure the moments, like treasure your life. Because mungecheka na mtu leo, 1 week down the line unasikia alipatwa na COVID akaleft. So you're like, wow, life COVID-19 ilituput in a position where ilituonyesha life is short. Yeah,
me too. I remember there was a lot of fear and the seclusion just brought about too much anxiety. But even in the midst of all that, one thing I learned was just appreciate people when they're still there. Tell them you love them. Be kind to people, because trust me, tomorrow is not promised. Not to anyone ever. So just appreciate people, your friends, family, strangers, you people you don't even know, and when you get the time to just sit down, pray for them, and know that
Be good to people.
yeah, just be good to people. Yeah, you'll need the occasion.
Yeah. Alafu, another thing ni, we should always have faith.
Anafeel vizuri.
Just let me have this one.
Yeah, so I think just have faith in life.
Yeah.
Whatever you're going through, have faith.
Be hopeful.
Be hopeful, yeah.
Yeah, while you're healing, sometimes you're in a state where you don't even imagine ever coming out of it, and it's really puts you in a box when you just feel so drained, so out of it, you have nothing left in you, but just to give it time. Trust me, utafika place yenye you'll be smiling, you'll be looking at your ex and you're okay with them, you know.
Yeah.
Just have faith. You'll get there. You just get there.
Yeah, unajua, another thing,
Tafika.
all of us have the ability to turn pain into power.
Yeah.
So the kitu iko ni, are you allowing your voice to be heard? Are you allowing your voice to be heard? Faith.
What do you mean by allowing your voice to be heard?
Like, when I am saying that, ni kitu kama, when you are allowing your voice to be heard, ni, are you pouring, like having outlets?
Okay, yeah.
So are you allowing your voice to be heard while you're suffering?
You should have a support system.
Yeah.
Support system is anyone, a friend, family, and it's good. Sometimes when you had just a very bad day and you call someone and you talk about not even your problem specifically, but you talk about how your day was or whatever
You laugh
happened.
about something stupid.
Laugh about it, and weirdly it relieves you.
It puts a different perspective to your day.
Totally. So have a support system, whoever it is, usikae tu ati, yes, you're so independent, you can do a lot of things on your own, but have a support system, it will help you somewhere.
Yeah, because unajua, whatever makes you uncomfortable, it's like your biggest opportunity in life.
Yeah.
Ndio? Kabisa.
Yeah.
So kitu yote inafanya kuwa uncomfortable.
Chances are it might be your biggest opportunity.
Yeah. And when we grow, we get empowered.
I'll also say appreciate the milestones you make. The small milestones you make during your growth. You need to appreciate yourself. If you do something today, kaa chini, jiambia asante, because it's also a process to do that one thing.
Yeah. Alafu another thing that it goes unrecognized, ni people should share their stories.
Okay, unajua ukisema share, not all people have the same understanding of sharing. I might share with you, you might judge me. I might share with you, you'll share with another person in a bad way. Ukisema share, I think I'd add and say share what you are comfortable with. Don't share unless you're comfortable with sharing. Because unless you're comfortable with sharing, you might be saying something that you don't want to be said somewhere else, alafu uisikie, and it will affect your growth.
Nice.
So I'd say share to the level you're comfortable, and make sure you're sharing to the right people.
Yeah, and if you don't, you're bottling up a lot of feelings that one day zitakuja tu zilipuke to someone you don't mean any harm to. So talk things out.
So I think when you're listening to this episode and you think this is how we turn pain into power, and I think my panelists here elaborate vizuri, wameongelea vizuri.
We've tried as much as
possible. So it's back to you, our audience. Talk to us, communicate to us. Tueleze pia sisi tunataka kujua how we can grow through suffering.
If you're comfortable, you can also share with us.
So if I can give you 1 minute to, but kama kuna kitu ya bottom line ongezea.
I'd say
utasema plus your social media accounts, your time pia.
Okay, I'd say finally nikimalizia ningesema talking to someone helps a lot. Talking to that one person. Ama talking to a stranger. If you feel umeconnect na mtu and you want to talk to them, reach out to them. If umefeel umeconnect na msee our previous guest kwa podcast, our current guest ama nini, like you can talk to them. Tafuta AD nitafute, will connect you to the person you want to connect to. Tafuta pia our organizer pale Limo, tutapeana handles zetu, you can find us, we can help where we can. So Instagram handle ya Limo I think atasema yake, I'd say mine, and handle yangu Twitter ni @patrickingori, handle yangu ya Instagram ni _disputable.
Ya Limo ni Limo_Yano.
Yeah, pia naweza wapea namba.
So yeah.
What I want to say is it will get better. Whatever it is.
Yatapita.
Yeah, just give it time. We'll be out here smiling, you know, having fun and appreciating yourself because you're growing, you've grown, you know.
Yeah.
So just it will take some small
take
time,
time,
but
you'll be there.
you'll get there.
That's
yeah.
nice. That's so sweet.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Faith Melody, Faith with a Y instead of an I. Yes, Faith Melody, that's me.
Yeah, nice. So thank you so much, and see you guys on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.